My message is that we'll be watching you.
Oh, watching the wacky, crazy world that we live in today. What's up, guys and gals in the Q10 Nation? It's your boy, Chillo Q10, and we back at it again. Hope you're having a lovely Saturday today. All right, before we kick things off, just wanted to mention a quick game review for those of y'all who maybe still do some PC gaming or console gaming out there. So Ubisoft just released Ghost Recon Breakpoint yesterday, and it had some issues right out the box. First of all, people couldn't log in. Couldn't even log in because it's always on. Even though there's a single player campaign mode, the DRM is always on. So you have to be connected to the internet to log in to the server just to even play the single player mode. Which I wish they would get rid of. You know, a lot of games starting to do that, but I wish they would just leave the single player mode alone. If you want to play online or co-op or multiplayer, let them have that option to actually sign into the servers to do that. But don't mess with single player. Give us the opportunity, because once the servers go down, nobody can play in single player anyway. So the servers were down as soon as the game came out. Nobody could get in. It took pretty much the whole day for them to fix the problem before you can get in. But with that said, finally logged in and started, went through the tutorial and stuff like that. And actually, it turned out to be a pretty decent game. The missions and the side missions and just a single player. I didn't test out the co-op or the multiplayer, but just the single player alone was actually pretty good. The way you go about spending skill points and stuff like that for different perks, and if you want to be a sniper, you want to be but they have Panther for stealth mode. If you want to just be a all-out assault, flash grenade, stuff like that, so you can pretty much pick your character and how they're going to interact. And but the AI and the enemy side is actually pretty good, and it's hard. They have drones that fly over and spot you, so you have to get prone and cover yourself with camouflage. It's pretty good. So it's just a quick review. I'd probably give it, I want to give it an 8, but I haven't played it long enough. So it could be between a 7 and an 8 out of 10, which is pretty good, especially for Ubisoft. And Ubisoft did a great thing when they came out with Uplay Plus. So it's another monthly subscription to play their library, their games, the whole, pretty much, I think it's 100 plus games that Ubisoft put out in their library, and newer games as they release with all the downloadable content, season passes and everything, and it's $15 a month, and you get to play all the new outcoming games that have came out and are going to come out. You get to play them instead of dropping $60+ and just to get the game, and you can't even play it because it's broke, on day one launch. So that's actually a pretty good thing for people who don't want to spend that money. They know that these developers don't put the games out 100%. They use like 75%, and then they throw patches at it for a couple months until it gets up to spec. So I mean, it's a pretty good option. Ubisoft is not the only one that does it. The Epic's game launcher, I think Epic's game, they do the same thing, subscription based. Origin with EA, they do the same thing, subscription based. So most of these AAA quote unquote titles that are coming out, they're going to be really buggy. They're not going to be 100%. It's sad that you would spend $60+, sometimes $100 if you get like the ultimate, edition pack with all this crazy stuff, and then the game is jank, or the game just flat out sucks. It's not what you were expecting, or what they showed at at the demo. So it's a good way to not drop $60 all at once or more on a game that you think is going to be good, and then it turns out to not be good. I mean, no downside is, of course, you don't own it, so you can't keep it in your library. Once you discontinue the monthly subscription service, of course, you can't play the game. It'll probably stay downloaded. You just can't activate it, you know. You just can't sign in to play it. So, I mean, that's the only drawback, but at least you didn't drop $100, you know, on this crazy, you know, package and the game sucks. Or you can't play it because it's buggy all the time, which a lot of these games are. And it's sad that the developers are putting this out. It's like, look, you know, like Cyberpunk 2077, I think. It looks like it's going to be a good game. And it's been in the works for a very long time. CD Projekt Red has been on it for a while. And it's coming out, you know, next year, 2020. But they've been working on it for years, man. And they trying to get all the kinks out that they can before they release it, you know. But most of these companies are so greedy now that they just going after title after title and just putting them out there, and they're like 75% done and just buggy, and then, you know, they get feedback from the gamers, and they're like, man, what, they got all these microtransactions in there, you know, pretty much pay to win stuff. And that's becoming an issue too. That's becoming a huge issue. Is this pay for win? You know, you can buy all this stuff, buy these loot boxes, you know, these microtransactions, spend real world money to advance further into the game. Or we're just going to make it so hard for you that you can't advance further without, you know, buying some of this stuff. And that's wrong, you know. And it's crazy because most of the games are going online now, and they kind of getting away from single player mode, which I love single player mode. You know, most of the time I don't want to play online. I don't want to play, you know, co-op or anything. I just want to sit down, play the video game by myself, single player mode. You know, so to those AAA game developers out there, listen more to the people, listen more to the public, listen more to the people who actually buy your product. And, you know, let's fix this. Let's get back to where it needs to be. So, but on that note of gaming, Red Dead Redemption 2 is coming to PC November 5th, and it's about time. No, Red Dead Redemption 1 didn't come to PC. I don't know why, but they're going to be porting Red Dead Redemption 2 over to PC, and I'm probably going to get this one for sure. Because I don't feel like playing it at 28 frames per second on the PS4. You know, they say it runs at 30, but it drops down into the 28, and it's just like, I'd rather play it on high-end PC, where I can get plus 60 frames per second at 1440p or higher. You know, I probably won't be able to get it at 4K. I don't know. We'll see, depending on what kind of graphical settings that they put into the game, if they have updated textures, HD texture package for it and stuff like that. But, which I'm pretty sure they will. It's going to be PC, you know. So, beginning, I think October 9th is when you can start pre-ordering. Rockstar has their own game launcher now. And you can get it from the Rockstar game launcher, pre-order on October 9th, and get some different perks, you know, with the pre-order, like they always do. Or I think Epic, so you can get on the Epic launcher, and that's gonna be, I think, October 25th, and then you can get it on Steam, but you're gonna have to wait until December to download it through Steam. So you can get it when it comes out November 5th. You know, on the Rockstar launcher, or you have to wait till December if you're a Steam fan. So, well, the Rockstar launcher is buggy right now because it just came out. I would much rather have it on Steam and in the Steam library, but you know, as long as they get the kinks out before it actually launches with the Rockstar launcher itself, I have no issues with that. You know, pre-order and they get it on the Rockstar launcher. So, looking forward to that for sure. Red Dead Redemption 2. I mean, that's a 10 out of 10 game right there. And, you know, that's another thing with Rockstar. They put in the work on their games before they come out. And they make sure, you know, not every game's 100%. It's going to be bugs and stuff like that. It's going to be, you know, patches and stuff like that. But games that come out with, like, first day patches. Like, the first day the game comes out. And you have to have a patch. Yeah. Man, come on. People are spending $60+ in the game, man. They don't want to have a janky old buggy game. And the first day it comes out, you got to put a patch on it. Nah, man. So, like I said, AAA developers, and up y'all game. You know, get with Rockstar, get with CD Projekt Red. You know, these companies that are doing these games, and they're taking years to do it. You know, it's years of development. It's worth the wait. It's worth the wait. Stop being greedy. All right, so that's pretty much it for the video game side of stuff. Let's get into the wacky, crazy world that we live in today, of course. I'm sure you heard about this, man. Yep, Greta Thunberg, whatever, some Swedish, teenager, was at the UN Climate Summit, and she gave her little speech, about you stole my future. Yeah, you stole my future. Like this, some crazy, almost possessed, like, weird contorted face stuff. I don't know. Anyway, so I think this girl is 16. Yeah, 16. When I was 16, I definitely wasn't trying to worry about some janky false climate change, the sun is gonna kill us type stuff. No. At 16, first of all, I was worried about, graduating high school in the next 2 years, of course. Make sure my grades were right. And, I wasn't protesting eating less meat, or something like that, reducing your carbon footprint. This is where we are today, where these kids' lives, they don't have a life. Let's just put it this way. It seems that in her case, it would seem that somebody is force feeding her this stuff and just shoving it down her throat. And then they're using her to push the agenda of climate change. So they can come in and do their carbon tax and, tax everybody. If you fart, that's like, what, $10 tax right there. So you better keep your farts in, Unless you live in California where you fart in the glass and just sniff it all day long because you're so smug and you like it, That's actually, if you haven't seen that South Park episode, Smug Alert, I think it is. It's pretty funny. It shows like people living in San Francisco, just going around farting in wine glasses and smelling it all day because, they think that they're so superior and so woke. Let's use that word. It's so woke. But actually, they're just trash. And they love the smell of their own farts. Yeah. But anyway, I digress. So, UN Climate Summit is over, and she was like, it's a failure. And first of all, she got people to skip school. How great. Skipping school to protest climate change in Iowa City. Oh, so yeah, let's go ahead and actually, well, I guess it wouldn't be so bad to skip a day at the re-education camp. Where you send your kids to get re-educated and programmed, because you got to work, 2 jobs, and the husband and the wife got to work, and you got to ship them off to daycare and the public school system so they can take care of them, which is a sad state that we live in today. Yes, I am pro homeschool. Yes, you should homeschool your kids if you can, instead of sending them off to the re-education camp, where they're going to have what we're going to be talking about here in a couple of minutes. Drag queen story time. Yeah. So, but anyway, so she was saying, it's unfortunate that it's unfortunate. That was unfortunately what we had expected, was meaning that there was no action taken. And it was just falling on deaf ears because, of course, who is going to bow down and kowtow to a 16-year-old who hasn't even lived a life, and life hasn't thrown her curveballs much yet? So my thing is, look, Greta, how about you wait a couple of years, let life beat you up a little bit, and then come back and see if you're still interested in blaming the United States for not doing anything about carbon emissions and whatever not, and their their carbon footprint, whatever. And it's like, have you been to China? Have you seen that people walk around with masks? How bad the pollution is over there, and Yeah, so you want to blame the United States for stealing my future? No, no one stole your future. I guarantee you know who stole your future? Your parents. Your parents who used you as a propaganda tool and force fed you all this crap. That's who stole your future. That's who you should be pissed at. Your parents. And yes, I do blame the parents. And blame other adults who are using this teenager to push an agenda. And I'm sorry, climate change is a hoax. Thank you very much. Well, the climate changes all the time. You know, we go through different seasons. You know, we have spells of hotter summers, colder winters, hotter winters. Yeah. But yeah, we're going to be dead in the year, what, 2020? No, 2020 is coming up. Everybody's going to die because of climate change. Now, I think it said we're going to be dead in like the next 15 years. That was AOC. AOC said, she's like, yeah, within the next 20 years, we're going to be dead. 20, 15 years because of climate change. I guess, you know, big icebergs just kind of come and wipe us out. I don't know. Retarded. Anyway, but lo and behold, there is pretty good video of, I think it's a Swedish death metal band or something, and I can't pronounce the name. It's pretty crazy. Bjork. I know the B's probably silent, so it's probably like Bjork or something like that. Anyway, they took her speech and made a death metal cover, and it's hilarious. And we're gonna check it out.
What's your message to world leaders today?
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
My message is that we'll be watching you.
Oh, watching. That's pretty crunchy groove.
This is all wrong.
Whoa!
I shouldn't be up here.
I mean, that's kind of how she sounded anyway.
On the other side of the ocean.
They didn't have to do much editing to her voice.
Yet, you're plus young people.
It sounded like she was possessed by the climate
How
change
dare you?
demonic forces.
You have
Oh, there it is.
stolen my dreams, my childhood,
Yeah, I've stolen my dreams.
your empty words, and yet I'm one of the lucky ones. People
Yeah.
are suffering. People are dying. Entire ecosystems are collapsing. We are the
Yeah.
beginning of a mass extinction.
Mass extinction. We're at the beginning of a mass extinction.
Heritage of eternal economic growth. How dare you?
Very cool.
How dare you? Oh.
Actually, that was pretty good, man. I found that to be pretty entertaining, and they actually released it, I think, on iTunes and stuff like that. But so if you purchase the song through iTunes or whatever, not the proceeds go to Greenpeace. Oh my God, another tree hugging hippie organization I talked about already, because they were over here hanging from the bridge, impeding traffic and just causing more quote unquote pollution by just the traffic being at a standstill and everybody's cars idling while they suspended from the bridge protesting petrol refineries and stuff like that. Anyway, so yeah, if you go buy it on iTunes, you're pretty much funding Greenpeace, but you know, you can probably just get it off of YouTube somehow, whatever, and have the video, Anyway, I thought that was pretty awesome. The guys who made it, put the music to it, it's actually pretty cool. So yeah, enjoyed that one. So another topic we're going to talk about before we get to drag queen story time. And I know I've talked about this in the past, but man, it just keeps popping up, and it's very, very surreal to be seeing this. Drag queen story time for young children. Okay, before we get to that, let's get on to, of course, I'm sure you know about this in the news, Amber Geiger. So Amber Geiger is a former Dallas police officer who is now convicted of murder in the death of a young black man who was just sitting in his apartment eating ice cream. And she, quote unquote, alleges that she worked a 14-hour shift, part parked on the wrong floor of the apartment complex. She lives on the 3rd floor. She parked on the 4th floor. And, you know, I don't know about you, but usually the door numbers for the apartments are labeled. So if you're on the 3rd floor, I'm pretty sure that it would begin with a 3. And on the 4th floor, begins with a 4. You know, it's usually how it goes. So why would she not notice that? In the first place, when you're looking at the door before you go in there, your door number doesn't match up. Well, you know, there's a lot of things that come out saying that she was distracted. First of all, because she worked a 14-hour day. But it came out that she was sexting her lover, whom she was having an affair with. And he's married. So let's just say, from what I've seen come out in the court hearing, she was not a role model citizen or police officer for that matter. She wasn't the most upstanding person. Let's just put it that way. I mean, you're having an affair with a married man. Yeah, your priorities are not straight. Let's put it that way. But there's a lot of other stuff that came out too, which was released. Now, before we get into it, I mean, too far, I just want to say, I don't think this was totally a non-racial issue. I don't think she had a premeditated, you know, it wasn't a premeditated thing, like she was out to get this guy. You know, like she's like, I'm just, you know, racially motivated. Like she hated him for being black, and that she was just gonna come up with some story, but you know, she knew that she was just gonna bust in his apartment and shoot him. I don't think that was the case. So it's not racially motivated. But there's some things that came out in her social media posts that kind of lean towards the fact, now, and some of them she says that she's not racist, and she made, you know, what would seem racist remarks about Martin Luther King and, you know, stuff like that. I think she was, you know, she was doing like some security stuff for MLK Day, and she was like, oh God, when it's gonna end, you know, texting back and forth. And she made the remark of when is it gonna end, like the parade, and then she texts back when MLK is dead, and she's like, oops, and you know, stuff like that. So it would seem like racially motivated, but it's kind of hard to tell because people can keep that stuff repressed inside, saying, you know, they could have certain, you know, just the way they were raised. Maybe sometimes they could not like a person of color, you know, to some degree. Do I think, you know, she was like a neo-Nazi, you know, type kind of, you know, out there racist? Probably, you know, no, probably not. Of course not. But her comments on and her social media posts and stuff like that about like getting away with murder, it doesn't bode well for her. You know, it doesn't make her, like I said, she's not an upstanding citizen. So it doesn't look good for her. But to me, the whole thing is just fishy. Like, we're not getting all the details. We may never get all the details. Possibly that could just be it. It could just be that she was distracted, working 14-hour days, and she actually did go to the wrong apartment, which is very possible. She could have opened the wrong apartment. But my thing is, you know, if she's a police officer and a woman, she's probably, for the most part, she's probably very organized and clean. Now, according to reports, this guy was, you know, not so, what's his name, Jean? Yeah. He wasn't, you know, a clean person. So his apartment was probably not organized and dirty, whatever not. And I'm pretty sure, now this is only speculation on my part, but I'm pretty sure that her apartment was pretty tidy, kept up, and clean. Because she was living by herself, just having an affair with a married man. So when you walk into your apartment and you don't notice, you know, that, hey, this is dirty, this ain't me. You know, and this, like I said, this is speculation on my part, but I'm pretty sure she's a clean freak. this is not my apartment. It's not clean. The first thing she saw was a black guy eating ice cream on the couch. So, I don't know, man. That just seems... that just seems too suspicious. Too fantastic. It was me. I would have noticed right, I noticed right away. I don't care how tired I am. I don't care if I'm, if I may be halfway drunk and notice that this is not my apartment. So, like I said before, I don't think it was a racially motivated thing of that she shot this guy because of his race. But, now hear me out. I don't think it helped that the guy was black because of her previous social media postings. I think if she walked into the wrong apartment and it just so happened to be a white male, maybe a Hispanic male that was living in that apartment, things may have turned out differently. She may not have been so eager to pull the trigger. And like I said, that's just my opinion. I don't think it was really racially motivated, but it didn't help that the guy was black. I think she pulled the trigger too quick on that part. So, and that's just my opinion. Like I said, it's not adding up. It's not adding up. First they charged her with manslaughter, but at the end they gave her a murder charge, and that's suspicious too. Maybe they just didn't want to cause a huge riot or whatever not, and so and here you can see Geiger was still dressed in her police uniform after a long shift when she shot Jean, a 26-year-old accountant from the Caribbean island nation of St. Lucia, whatever. She was fired from the force and charged with murder. Geiger testified that she mistook Jean's apartment for her own, which was one floor below, and that she had thought he was a burglar in her home. Well, I mean, if somebody, I guess they're going to break in and eat ice cream on the couch. Yeah, that's what a lot of burglars like to do. You see, that's why it just seems too fantastic to believe. Her story. So the sentence of 10 years, she got 10 years, was met with both boos and jeers from people in the hallway outside the courtroom. As Jean's family walked out of the courtroom after the hearing, the group in the hallway began to chant, "No justice, no peace." Two black women hugged each other and cried. Sheriff deputies cleared the hallway outside of the courtroom before more officers escorted Geiger's family out and down the side of the staircase. Geiger said she mistook Jean's apartment for her own. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. As far as that goes, they gave her 10 years. But why turn it from manslaughter to murder? If really if this was a complete accident, she did not mean to do it. She just thought it was a burglar, really, and it was mistaken identity, mistaken apartment, stuff like that. Why go from manslaughter to a murder charge? Manslaughter is out of your own. You do something and kill someone out of your own negligence, but it's not premeditated. That's another weird thing to me too. And then the court bailiff was combing her hair through the trial. You seen that? And then the judge hugged her and gave her a purse of Bible. Now, and then the brother of the victim, Jean's brother, hugged her too, and said he forgave her for shooting his brother and killing him. So compassion is a great thing, and you should forgive, no doubt. My thing is, if this was a white male who'd done this, would they have been as compassionate? If this was a white male police officer who had a mistaken identity, and opened up the wrong apartment door, thought it was his, gunned down a black man, would they have been as compassionate? Would the bailiff be combing that guy's hair, with the hand? Would the judge have stepped down, hugged him, hypothetically, if it was a white male, and gave him her personal Bible, would the brother have forgiven him? You know, I'm trying to play this scenario in my head. How would that have turned out? You know, and how many times has that judge, who happens to be black, stepped down from the bench and hugged other murderers who were, you know, other people who were charged with murder or just manslaughter? How many other times has that judge done that? You know, and that's why I say compassion is great. You know, to show compassion, to give them the word, because I mean, she's going to jail. She's going to need the word. I have nothing against that. I have nothing against that. If you want to show compassion for somebody who's done wrong like this, you know, if it was accidental, if it was accidental, like manslaughter or whatever, not, there's nothing wrong with forgiving, showing compassion and stuff like that, but make it consistent. You know, how many times has the judge done that to other people who may have accidentally killed somebody, got a manslaughter charge, and went to jail for 5 years or whatever? Not how many times she got down and hugged. Make it consistent. And, you know, don't show favoritism. Just because she's a white female, would you have done the same thing to a white male who was a police officer who done this? And that's what gets me. Everything, it all looks so fishy. It just looks staged. It looks scripted. The court hearing, man. It was weird. It was cringe. It was really cringe-worthy, you know. And I understand there's a lot of people who are trying to make this a racial thing. Like she was racially motivated to kill this guy. That's not the case. My opinion is it didn't help that he was black. Because she, for whatever reason, and like I said, this is all through her like social media posts about color. You know, and the stuff she said. So I don't think it helped that she was the guy was black. She may have pulled the trigger too quickly, you know. She may have thought twice if it was a white guy. I'm just saying, you know. I'm just saying. Oh. But anyway, 10 years. So do you think 10 years was fair? Do you think 10 years was enough? Do you think that it was an accident? Or do you think there's something else going on and we're not getting the whole story? So, you know, you let me know. You let me know. That's why they have the comment section down there. You know, you let me know, hey, Quentin, yeah, it's cool, man. I think you're right on it. Or, no, I disagree with you. So the last thing we're going to talk about, guys, is... Oh, wait, not the last thing. My bad. I got feeling there's so much stuff, man. It's just like it's filled week after week. There's so much stuff compressed that comes out, and it's like, wow, like things are speeding up to a disaster in this country. That's what it feels like. You know, pray to the Most High that we can avert a disaster. It just feels like it. It's like we're speeding up to the inevitable, which the apocalypse, I guess if you want to call it. But of course, it's people running around, of course, like Paul said, in the latter days, you know, lovers of themselves, lovers of money, and all that stuff, giving in to sexual perversions, which we're going to talk about. So before we talk about the last thing, let's get into the hate crime hoax. Girl like Karen Pence, which is Mike Pence, the VP, Mike Pence's wife, she does like part-time arts teaching at this school. So girl like Karen Pence's school admits to inventing story of white boys cutting her dreadlocks. So it came out, you know, this girl who was 12 years old at this private Virginia school where the vice president, Mike Pence's wife, Karen, teaches art, has admitted she made up her account of a racist attack in which 3 white boys cut off her dreadlocks. So the story came out saying that 3 white boys held her down, called her all kind of stuff, called her ugly, called her nappy, and 3 white boys held her down and cut off her dreadlocks. And this came out on the news, and the parents were furious and upset, and it just caused more traction for you know, people, and of course the news media was on it, the fake news medias, the liberal news medias were on it, just, you know, saying, look how bad America is. We have so much hate crime, you know, so much crime against people of color and stuff like that. And it's like, well, actually, it came out and said she was lying. And then the media has egg on their face and have to come out and say, well, you know, we were wrong. But, you know, Donald Trump is still causing racism and stuff like that. And that's a whole nother story. I know I touched last week on Donald Trump and the impeachment process that's still going on. But that's all crap because, man, look, they need to be doing something for this country. And I know they claim that they're doing something for the country by getting impeaching Trump and getting out, but you're not. You're not doing anything for this country but wasting taxpayer money. And I'm tired of talking about it. And I'm tired of seeing the left pull this bullcrap. You know, the geriatric 2020 Democratic Party, man. You know, these people, I mean, what's his name? Bernie Sanders had a heart attack. And I hope he does make a full recovery. But, dude, drop out the race, man. You can't be becoming president. What you gonna do? You gotta get a heart transplant or something? Oh, we're gonna make socialism great. Give you this and that. Dude, you're not even fit to be president. Health-wise. Come on, just drop out. Anyway, so Amari Allen said she was about to use the slide at Emmanuel Christian's. She was about to use the slide at the Christian school playground when 3 white classmates pushed her down, held her hands behind her back, called her names, cut off some of her ugly, nappy dreadlocks. Now, where did she get this talk from? Who? She made the story up. Where is she getting this ugly, nappy talk from? Was she being bullied at the school? I mean, it's very possible. You know, kids can be very cruel. They go around just, you know, bullying and picking on it. And most of the time, it's the parents' fault on how they raise the children. In the re-education camps, even in private Christian schools, as most private Christian schools are re-education camps too. Most, not all, of course. Anyway, so the little girl's grandparents issued an apology, saying that the whole thing had been made up, and they did a good job though. They came out and, you know, they apologized, and they, you know, a sincere apology. But the thing is, that little girl could have started some crazy stuff, man. Could have started some crazy stuff popping off. You understand? Saying that 3 white boys cut her dreads off, called her nappy and all this stuff. It's bad enough the tension's already high from the left pushing a race war agenda. We don't need more Jussie Smollets in this world. In Mango Country. You understand? What they consider MAGA country. You know, Jussie Smollett. They poured bleach on me, had a new whatever, dude. We don't need more fake hoaxes about quote unquote hate crimes in this country to pop something off and start some crazy real racial riot, some wars or whatever or not, you know. This little girl could have popped something off, man. And started some people looting and shooting and whatever. For what? She wanted attention? Did somebody put her up to it to do this? And and you sit back and wonder, it's like, do these people who make up these hate crimes, are they being influenced by somebody? Are their parents putting them up to that? You know, it just makes you sit back and wonder. But anyway, so yeah, apparently they have to make up hate crime hoaxes because there's not enough. Well, they say, you know, hate crimes happen all the time, but apparently people have to make them up. You know, it's not as widespread as the media puts it to be. Because that's what they want. It's division. Divide and conquer. They want to divide us. You know, whites from blacks and whites from Mexicans and blacks from Mexicans and all that. They want to divide us. Because if we're divided and fighting with each other, they can come in behind our backs and steal this country, which they're trying to do right now. You know, they're not helping us. They're not for you. Guarantee you. President Bush wasn't for us. Obama wasn't for us. A lot of presidents before them were not for us. They're for an agenda. They're for an agenda that whatever you believe, it's a small portion of globalists that are trying to rule and over the people, or whether it's a certain organization or whatever not. They do have people higher than them. They have to, and in my opinion, now this is just my opinion, they're so angry at Trump because he can't be bought and paid for. And I do think Trump actually wants to help out America. I do. He's a shrewd businessman. He spent all his life being a shrewd businessman, doing things his way and having not to apologize for it. And you see that in his presidential campaign, and just him being a president. You see that. So he didn't pull the reins back on being a business tycoon. He brought that with him into the presidential office. And really, that's not a good thing, because you have to kind of scale that back. You can't just go out and be doing really what you want to do and saying things and really not being apologetic for it. A lot of people like him for that, but in a sense, have some more respect for the office that's being held as president. So that's what I'm coming from. That's why he blows up. He says things because he doesn't feel like he has to be apologetic for the things that he does, because being a shrewd tycoon businessman that he had all this time, that's what he done, and he hasn't pulled that back. So, and I'm not making excuses for him, of course. If there's an impeachable offense, really an impeachable offense, if there is an impeachable offense, then by God, yes. If it comes out that Trump murdered somebody while he was president, well, damn, whatever. Yeah. Impeach, throw him in jail, who cares? But, I mean, you have find some tangible evidence. Stop playing ring around the rosy. Anyway, so that's the whole thing with the girl who cried wolf. And it's bad. Yeah, it's bad. And they say to the young boys and their parents that she said that cut her hair, they had to apologize to them, because dude, if it came out, the boys that she alleged, and we now know that it was false, claimed cut her hair, those boys could have been hurt by somebody who was pissed off, or the parents. I'm sure they were like, we got to keep our boys at home. The media's going to be after us. They're going to be in our faces. And she didn't know or understand the implications of her lying about something like that. She could have got those boys killed, man, or the parents. That is crazy. That is crazy, man, to think about it like that. You have to, these kids, but re-education camps and stuff like that, and liberal parents. And most of the time, I do blame the parents. I do blame the parents for the children. Now the children just could be buttholes and doing this thing by themselves. But I mean, as a parent, you have to raise the children. Raise them right. Raise them from right and wrong, to do the right thing, to have integrity. If you do that, chances are they're not going to be, can't think of the word I'm looking for, but they're going to be upstanding citizens when they grow up. Let's just put it that way. Okay. And my take, you teach them in the word, they ain't going to depart from it, which is good. You need to teach them God's word. Yeah. Which is 100% of the stuff that you need to be teaching your children. I know some of you don't agree with me. That's fine. That's cool. You can go ahead and teach your children about sexuality and stuff, the stuff we're going to get to right here. Which is it's pretty nasty stuff, man. Anyway, drag queen story time. Oh Lord, here we go. Disturbing video, drag queen strips for kids in the library. How you like that? Let's check out the video. And they're cheering. They're clapping. Their adults are clapping. clapping for this. This is disgusting. This is disgusting. And they are letting kids. What is she doing? That is disgusting. Are they teaching kids how to drop it like it's hot and twerk? And is that Katy Perry in the background? That's great. Yeah, okay. So that's enough of that. Dude. Here's the thing. This is really surreal. They want to teach your kids this? What is educational about this? Some Fruit Loop guy in makeup, in drag, looking like a clown, stripping or pretending to strip in front of kids. What in the hell is educational about this bullcrap? This is not education. This is adult entertainment. This is close to a strip club as you can get with drags. This is child abuse. And parents who bring their children to see this crap should be charged with child abuse, in my opinion. No doubt. This is child abuse. This is over-sexualizing. This is teaching young kids and sexualizing. This is a propagandist teaching to sexualize kids at a very young age. They can't even process that at that age. And it's totally and utterly freaking disgusting. Disgusting. Here's another one.
The Heights Public Library today debuting a new children's story hour called Drag Queen Story Time.
My name is Blackberry. I'm a bearded drag queen. That means I'm a lady with lots of facial hair.
I'm actually going to be one of the drag queens reading for Drag Queen Story Time. Drag Queen Story Time.
And we have to warn you, ladies and gentlemen, if you've got young or impressionable children in your household, bring them to the screen right now.
And we witnessed parents taking their children as young as 2 inside to take part.
Talking, singing, and reading.
We can both be grooms.
To an audience of preschoolers, toddlers, and their caregivers.
The hips on the drag queen go swish, swish, swish.
Turn around and shake your butt. Shake them, shake them, shake them, shake them, shake them.
It was a first for this branch of the public library, too.
Teaching the kids how to shake their butts.
Do you want to touch my hair?
I wonder why he's never. Oh, you heard that? You want to touch my hair? Kid's like, nope, you freak. Get away from it. Dude, that is... They claim that they want to teach tolerance and acceptance at a young age. What they want to do is push their agenda, try to sexualize these kids. And really, the parents that bring these kids to this stupid freak show. I mean, it's like a circus. These parents deserve the worst parent of the award. The worst parent of the century award. Not the year. Worst parents of the century award. And you know what? This is happening in counties within California and New York. You know, pretty much the cesspool of the left liberal United States. This is happening. What is this drag queen storytime crap is happening. Please keep it over there. Please keep this disgusting stuff over there. Keep your freaks over there. Oh, Quentin, you need to be more tolerant. You know, that's hate speech, calling them freaks and stuff like that. Dude, a bearded, quote unquote, lady? That's like circus stuff, dude. Yes, they are freaks. And I'm unapologetic about it. And no, it's not hate speech. It's just me voicing my opinion. Because I do have free speech. It's not hate speech. I'm not enticing anyone to act in violence against these people. I'm just calling it disgusting. Which it is. To have these impressionable children, as they claim, sit there and go through them with music. First of all, they shouldn't be listening to. Stripping, twerking, tell them to shake their butts. What are they doing? This is not educational. This is not 1 + 1 math. This is not essay reading. This is not spelling. It's none of that. This is like adult entertainment, dude. This is what they're doing. They're here to ruin your children. They're trying to ruin your children.
And for the children and the people that support it are going to realize that this is going to be the grooming of the next generation.
That's the whole goal, is to make kids that aren't used to seeing something like me more comfortable to seeing it.
No one's there to push an agenda on anyone. No one's there to
not there to push an
persuade
agenda.
people or to recruit
You could be a drag queen too.
Who wants to be a drag queen when they grow up?
You could be a drag queen superhero.
Oh, yeah.
They were all accepting. They all were happy about it and excited and giving me hugs and everything.
You know, the woman gets up on her table, spreads her legs. It's a man. This is adult entertainment.
Most people seem to
How is that not adult entertainment?
Start them young,
How?
right?
Start them young, right?
Anyone
Start
can
'em
do
young.
drag. Everyone can do drag.
Oh my,
Everyone can teach the children.
oh my God, dude. I can't even sit through this. It's tough to even sit through this and watch this crap.
Queens in Chicago, right? Yes, family programming. Love it, yes.
We have just confirmed that a
Family
registered
programming.
child
What?
sex offender has been reading to children at a Houston public library as part of its Drag
Houston
Queen
public
Story
library.
Hour.
A media spokesperson for the library confirms one
Houston,
of those drag
man.
queens, Tatiana
Awesome,
Malanina, is really Alberto Garza, a child sex offender. In 2008, he was convicted of assaulting an 8-year-old boy.
This is Tatiana Malanina, my sister from Queens of the Week.
What has this world come to? It's come to a world where drag kids actually exist.
And people do ketamine on a couch. Desmond is the world's youngest club kid, and we challenge you.
Teaching them
to
to do drugs?
A younger club kid. Will they find one? No.
Please welcome Desmond Napoles, aka Desmond is amazing.
Oh God, I can't stomach this. It's hard to even go through to keep watching this. So we might have to just end it there on that video. It's tough, man. It's tough to see this bull crap exist. And you seen that? The guy was a registered sex offender in Houston, of all places, because we know there's a lot of people from California that are moving over here to Houston trying to escape the dang taxes over there. They're killing them because it's ran by the left. And God. So he's a registered sex offender and he's over there reading, quote unquote, to these kids. This is what these parents who are bringing their kids there are subjecting their kids to possible pedophilia, pedophiles who want to get close to your kids just so they can read them a story. Yeah, right. They're getting close to your kids for other reasons. And in my opinion, if a parent brings their kids to one of these freak shows and something happens to that kid by one of these people, that parent should be definitely put in jail for a long time. Child endangerment. Most definitely. These people, these parents, they think they're so woke. You know, like I said, they love to smell their own farts. They're so smug, especially in California and New York and all these cesspools of America, that they're so super woke that, oh yeah, you know, I'm going to bring my kid here and we'll teach him about acceptance at a young age. You know, it's okay to accept, and it's like, that's not the natural order of this world. That is something totally different. Your child needs to know that. Your child needs to be learned. Your child needs to be learning about history, spelling, reading, stuff like that. They're not teaching them any of this. They're teaching them sexual innuendos, twerking, and bullcrap. Okay, that's what's going on here. This is not an educational program. They're touting it as an educational program, but they're not. And I know, you know, there might be people out there who hate me for Faye and stuff like this, but I don't care. It's a freak show, dude. And this is what we do not need in the public education camps. It's bad enough that they're trying to rewrite the brains of the young children already in the public school system. It's bad enough it's already broken, but yet they want to interject some more stuff in there. Hey, how about I have Bible story time at the library? Can I do that? Can I do that? No. You know why? Because they hate God. Because the Bible shows their lifestyle to be wicked. And they don't like that. They want to be accepted and tolerated. But they want to accept or tolerate Christians in the school system, teaching kids the Bible, Bible story time, reading scripture in the library. Nope, they won't be tolerant of that. That's why in previous videos I've said these people, who are mainly on the left, are very intolerant, but they preach tolerance. They want to be accepted and preach acceptance, but they don't accept anybody else out of their own little clique, especially Christians. Why? Because the scripture points their sin out and calls them wicked, and they don't want to be labeled as that. Okay? You get it? It's not about acceptance, and this is not about tolerance, and it's not about education. It's about programming the minds of young children, and possibly trying to get too close to them for these sex offenders. And this is an easy way for the sex offenders to do it. And parents are putting their children, these woke parents are putting their children at risk with this bullcrap. I think those parents should be locked up. I really do. That is child abuse, child endangerment. I think those parents should be locked up. And there's parents, you know, on the video that, God, I can't really continue to watch this. It's just
on a story
so
time.
That's it.
Younger.
I just want to expose them to things they don't get to see every day and want it to become the more normal and more accepted.
They've never seen a drag queen before.
Yeah, more normal.
So thought it was a good chance.
They've never seen a drag queen before. Let's go home and eat some vegetarian stuff.
It was a first
Put
for
some
this
soy
branch
in
of the
you.
public library too.
It is amazingly unique, and that is ultimately something that we strive for.
Conceived in San
Yeah, there you
Francisco
go.
in 2015
That was
by Michelle T. Drag Queen Story Hour is a
and
family-friendly
bought.
program
Ugh,
that brings
it's
drag
disgusting
queens
that-
and children
this
together
stuff is
for an hour of educational
starting to
readings
propagate
and
in
crafts.
Houston area.
To read some stories?
And it's just disgusting.
Oh
Are you ready to read
The
some
goal of the
stories?
program is to encourage
Oh my
self-expression and to educate
goodness.
children on progressive topics like
Self-expression.
gender identity and feminism.
Yep.
This book is
Gender
called
identity
Love
and
the
feminism.
World by Todd Parr. The program teaches
Oh,
kids
yeah,
about
you
self-expression
should love the
and
world.
diversity because it helps them to learn
Self-expression and
accept
diversity.
it.
Hey, there's
It's
other
really
ways to teach
overwhelming.
kids. There's other ways to teach kids about self-expression and diversity. Not through freaking drag queen, disgusting
Feeling that
stuff.
this is awesome, you're doing something really good, and we can't.
Swish, 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 swish.
The library
Swish,
started
swish,
scheduling Drag Queen Story Hour last year
I'm a girl.
and is already looking to expand to other locations.
Drag Queen Story Hour is fantastic because it addresses all of these issues of gender fluidity and self-acceptance.
Gender fluidity.
And all of these topics
Acceptance.
that
And all of these topics
are
that we
real,
want
are
to
very, very real.
The program, though,
Oh,
is
yeah,
a
they're very
hit with
real, of course.
participants here.
It was great. So much energy.
Not natural life.
Did you like it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Parents say
That's
they
bull.
welcome the diversity.
You know, that's what I'm looking for in all of our outings is to present.
Yeah, she looks like somebody who farts in a wine glass and smells it. I'm sorry. She looks like somebody who enjoys her own farts. And these are people in California. This is the sick and degenerate parents who are subjugating their kids to this type of freaking crazy, disgusting nonsense. Yes. But Quentin, you can't hate him. You're right. Shouldn't hate him. And I don't. But I know the Bible speaks against it. So therefore, I cannot accept it. No. I'm not going to accept everything. And what they're teaching these kids is that you should be so accepting of everything. Look, not everybody is going to accept you as a person in life whatsoever. Not everybody's going to like you. Not everybody's going to accept you. Get over it. That's just the way life is. Move on. Push forward. For those that don't like you, don't be friends with them. Don't hang around them. Not everybody is going to accept you. What are they teaching these kids? That you have to be accepting of everything? That's not the way life works. No, people have their own choices. People make their minds up. People make their own minds up about stuff 24/7. And not everybody accepts everything. And that's good. That's real diversity right there. The true diversity is that people can choose to accept or choose not to accept. There's the true diversity right there. Not everybody is robots. And yet these parents are like, yeah, it's so great, I want to teach them so young and about acceptance and diversity. And it's like, that's not diversity. But yeah, they're not going to bring their kids to a Bible storytelling time or anything like that, or scripture time. Are they? They've never seen a drag queen before. Oh, I think I'll just bring them over there and let's see the drag queen who could possibly be a convicted pedophile. Yeah. These super woke parents. Words can't describe. Let's just put it that way. I will leave it at that. So, anyway, guys, that's it for me today. And I've had enough of this nonsense. Really. It truly is too fantastic to even believe. It's disgusting that they're doing this. And it's happening in my own backyard. To think in a state like Texas, but that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to propagate, Austin, Houston, Dallas, the big major cities and stuff like that. You have a lot of people like from California and New York and stuff that's moving, trying to escape the Democratic run places because of the taxes, and they're broke. And coming to Texas, and they start migrating to Houston, Dallas, Austin, these bigger areas. And then their agenda gets pushed out. They want to do the same thing that they were doing in California. It's like, no thank you. No thank you. If you wanted that, you should stay your butt in California or New York. Okay? This is Tejas. Anyway. So, that's my 2 cents about it. And you let me know what you think. What you guys think about everything. The drag queen story time, Greta Thunberg, the hate crime hoax. And let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. If you agree or if you disagree, let me know why. If you like the content, subscribe for more. Hit the subscribe button. And we'll see you next go round. It's been Chillin' with Q10. All right, YouTube. Peace out.
If you like what you just saw, consider hitting that subscribe button for more great content.